He hadn't responded. He said he'd be here according to last night. So we'll
that's all right. We'll just jump in.
Yeah, we'll have him jump in. I got to go to Instagram and here and get live. I forgot my stream key. Thank God people don't hop on right away.
All right, I'm ready to go.
All right, we'll be live here in a minute.
Before we go live, do you want to get into the Charlie Kirk shit at all?
We are live.
Oh, I guess
we're live on YouTube. I got to get my stream key for Instagram here. I forgot to do it.
All right, we are live on Instagram.
We are live on the grams.
On the grams.
I already got people texting
me. Yep, they're rolling in. What's up, everybody? Sound off. Tell me where you're from.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to America's Outpost. It's Wednesday night. Oh, shit, there's Brian Lane.
What's up, man?
All right, we're just getting everybody online. A little music here for a minute, and then we're going to get after it. Stop talking. Kiss my ass. That wasn't meant to you guys. That was meant to somebody else watching the show.
Florida, San Diego, Oregon, Vermont, Florida, Maine.
Holy shit, we're on the East Coast?
Oh, yeah. We had some Aussies coming in last week.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We're live on Instagram and the YouTubes. It is America's Outpost. America's Outpost. It's Wednesday, October the 8th, and my name is Aaron, the Doge Update Guy. I am here with my fellow hosts, the real Brett Lee and Brian Lane.
Get your tongue back in your mouth.
I know. It's been a busy day, man. It's been a busy day. What's going on, everybody?
Oh, man. Waiting on my coffee to be done. That's how the day is going.
Oh, man. I like that. I like that logo behind you.
Yeah. It's, I was just trying to, that I've just moved. So I'm just trying to get everything put together. And so I just slapped something up. This is an 85 inch, but I'm trying to see how it's going to look on this.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it needs to be in frame. So like all you see is the TV. So I gotta figure that stuff out, but that's just the joys of building studios.
Well, logistics, you'll make it work.
Oh,
well, how is the move going?
Dude. We did it, and we put 110% in it. We left it out all. We left it all out on the court. We did win, but it was a squeaker. We could have played better.
Everybody played tough.
Yeah, but everybody played tough, and kudos to the other team that was trying to take us out the whole way down. But no, we did good. We got down here in lightning speed, and then the big slowdown, like slow motion, was the unpacking of two 26-foot Penske diesels. And this has been quite the journey. And then when the kids packed everything, they were like, "Hey, let's get everything together for Dad in the studio." And then all the cords are everywhere, and it's like, okay, which one goes here? Okay, that one's over here. I know I had this cord over here. 10 boxes later, you find it in the first place you looked, and it's just one of those things.
I know it. I was growing up. I was my dad's friend's moving company, me and my brothers. So I have packed and unpacked many a trailer in my day.
Oh my gosh, dude! I think one of the most coolest jobs that kind of play in real world, because I've moved a lot because of my job. I'm done with it, by the way. I'm retiring from moving. Unless the hurricane moves me, which there's a possibility that could happen. But
the only thing worse than moving is today's headlines. So we're glad you got moved and settled down in the state of Florida.
Yeah. But the job was appliances. Just to finish that out. Moving appliances. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's kick the show off with some headlines here. And right now, these are coming from the Gateway Pundit. It's a lot of exciting things going on right now. An appeals court judge lifts the judge's order blocking Trump from mobilizing Oregon National Guard troops. I think that's fantastic. Oregon needs all the help it can get. What do you guys think?
I'm with you, man. I mean, he just did it in Chicago. I mean, you've seen all the bullshit going on in Chicago right now. But, hey, man, that's part of running America. You got to make sure your cities and towns are safe. So I'm with it.
100%. I would just say, bring them in. You know, that I used to live there back in the 90s, and it was already going downhill in the late 90s.
Wow.
And so I can only imagine what it is now. But
I mean, it ain't good.
Yeah, 100%. And it you know, people just need to understand that there is law and order in this country. And if you violate that law, you're going to be corrected.
Yeah.
And
as it should be. If you're going to be outrageous and break the law and cause a lot of civil unrest and property damage and harm to others, your ass needs to go to jail. This is a good one here. Why don't you keep your mouth shut? You're embarrassing yourself. An unhinged Hakeem Jeffrey snaps a GOP congressman during nasty argument in a hallway. And that's all the Democrats have to bring to the table is nastiness and foul language. And they're getting upset because they know their story, their bullshit story they've been selling for years is starting to fall apart and logic is hitting them. And the only way to act when logic hits you and you can't argue is to be an asshole.
Yeah.
It's the default setting.
Perfect. Setting. That's like the perfect way to put it.
It's like rule number 1, you know, we're always right. Rule number 2, if we're wrong, refer to rule number 1.
Yep.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. See, President Trump suggests that Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker may face criminal charges as DHS Secretary Kristi Noem reveals that Portland police were cheering on Antifa calls for violence with their fists in the air, says officials should be prosecuted. And that should go hand in hand with the stand down in Chicago.
Yep.
Saying we're not going to help ICE. So if you've got, city law enforcement that is either on the side of the evildoers, as I like to call them, or just refusing to do what they're supposed to do, somebody's got to go.
Yeah.
100%.
Well,
and who's hiring these people?
Exactly. And then, your friend, the Hamburglar up there, for him to say that he's doing the right thing by subverting President Trump's mandate to come in and have the National Guard come in there, it's a blatant lie, obviously, because the federal government supersedes anything that at the state level. So his argument of, the states hold the power and to be able to control what we can and can't do, it's like, no, that's not true. At the end of the day, the federal government runs your town at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're all playing together. And one thing that, I've noticed, and this kind of goes back to the Portland thing, this idea that cops need to be friendly, and that I don't think my neighborhood cop, how do you do? What's going on? But there was a good example set. I went to, I'm a veteran, and I went to I think it was Fort Campbell, and I just made the wrong turn. And the dude was like, I'm going to make casual conversation. He was like, very matter of fact, he's like, all right, man, you need to turn your car around. I was like, yeah, man, he's like, no, I need you to get on out. And I'm like, okay, whatever, yeah. And I, but some people would be so offended by that. We need strong, tough,
right?
FAFO soldiers in the street.
Yeah. And you don't have to be an asshole and just start knocking people out and pepper spraying people for no reason, but be stern and be like, look, dude, this is the law. It is what it is. Black and white. Sorry. Well,
the level of action needs to be met with equal action. So if you're being a jerk and you're pushing, then you have to push back at the same resistance level. I got pulled over 3 weeks ago at a stoplight because I looked at my phone, and texting and driving is illegal in the state of Illinois. And the cop pulled me over. Couldn't have had a better experience in my life. He's like, "You know why I pulled you over?" I'm like, "Not really." He's like, "Were you calling the police when you were looking at your phone?" I said, "No, I wasn't."
Matter of fact, it was.
And he said, showed up so fast.
And he said, well, he goes, in the state of Illinois, texting and driving is illegal. And he goes, when the light turned green, your truck moved forward, the phone was in your hand. I said, no problem. What do you need? He goes, license and registration. I gave him everything. He goes, hey, man, you got a very clean driving record. I'm going to give you a warning. He goes, but just remember, in this city, we'll pull you over for that. He goes, so just be careful. I'm like, no problem, officer. Thank you. Had a great day. So, it took all of 10 minutes. So it was a great interaction. He wasn't an asshole, nor was I. And we get on down the road.
He was doing his job.
He was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. So, Marco Rubio fires Foreign Service officer caught concealing a secret romantic relationship with a Chinese Communist Party affiliate.
Ooh, seen this before.
So we've got inside people trying to tear the country down, and we've got people that work for the government operating with the Chinese Communist Party, who, as we all know, aren't doing us any favors.
You said Marco Rubio?
Marco Rubio fires Foreign Service officer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
My brain did not
Rubio.
catch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marco
I'm like,
Rubio's the
wait a
boss.
second.
That would have been national headlines.
Yeah, that would have been
What
national
in the
headlines,
world?
so-
Are you sure?
But
Just so everybody knows, Marco Rubio fired the guy having the relationship with the CCP affiliate.
If you are a politician in any capacity, do not have a relationship with anybody that's Asian.
Eric
They're
Swalwell.
probably a plant. I'll just say it. Or at least do a little background check. You've got the capacity, do a background check, you know?
Gosh, dude, you strike so many chords with that, but I cannot talk about it. Like, it's not just Asians, it's other people too.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you gotta look through the things, look through it in a lens of
Like a
people
cliche.
are gonna try to influence and infiltrate our people. You know, just be smart about it. What are you doing?
Yeah, dude. Don't let the second head do all the talking. Right?
Exactly. Put your Asian fetish away for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got another weird headline here. Palisades fire arsonist Jonathan Richter Necht, I think I got that right, created eerie pictures of burning cities, and he felt, in quotes, liberated by incinerating the Bible.
Wow.
So is he? I didn't read the full story, but is he what they're considering the impetus of the Palisades fire?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw he was like doing videos and he had like a rap video going on while he was videoing houses burn and stuff. Like, all right, okay.
Yeah. That's and what did he say? I think they said he was a Democrat. Let me double check that real quick.
I'm just gonna go ahead and go on a limb and say he was a Democrat.
You know, I can't even say it because it doesn't even like almost exist. It's non-existent. There is a sliver of Democrats out there that are not freaking wackadoodle.
No,
It
of
is
course.
true.
And so like, you know, it's beyond Democrat. It's like weird liberal progressive retard. Sorry, but it's just like, yeah. So
Bring it back. This is the retards. That's what it is.
retard.
Well, and this,
We'll just call it Rita.
Yeah, exactly. Not to bring up the Charlie Kirk thing too early before we really get into it, but that whole thing really, I think, spawned a good dichotomy instead of the left and the right. It's good and evil at this point, you know, and it's you have more evil on one side than the other. I'll let you be the judge of what's what,
Right.
But that's what it's become now. It's good and evil, plain and simple.
100%. What's next?
Well, our homie James Comey has pled not guilty to 2 federal charges, but
Not
we all
guilty.
we
Why
all
would
knew
he do that?
we knew he was going to plead not guilty, and apparently everybody's upset, myself included, that he didn't get perp walked like everybody else did, including Donald Trump, because they had a clerical error that he was given a summons to report, and they were able to take him through the back door versus in front of all the media. So again, the deep state being given preferential treatment for their alleged crimes. We haven't been convicted yet, so I got to use the right terminology there. But I'm definitely going to watch that. A lot of popcorn, be ready to go. You know, I'm looking for the drama on that one for sure.
Right.
I want to see his mugshot like they did with Donald Trump. At least Donald Trump turned out pretty cool. I mean, you can put that on a T-shirt. I don't think Comey you'd be able to put it on a T-shirt.
Then he doubled down with the first presidential portrait.
Oh, my God.
that was
So good.
That was great. Oh man.
All right, do we got any comments from Instagram or YouTube?
Oh, let's see here. Dan's
fire
back.
on up.
What's up, Dan? Good to see you back, my man. Yeah, I have to scroll through. There's a lot happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
While you're going through that, Republican Indiana Senator Jim Banks and Texas GOP Rep Chip Roy on Wednesday unveiled new legislation aimed at rolling back Obama era mandates on gas cans. The Obama administration's EPA in 2009 replaced traditional vented metal gas cans with rigid, non-vented plastic cans that ban the metal ones. And as we all know, you're trying to fill your lawnmower and you pull back on the neck there to release so gas can go through. And the next thing you know, your gas can is overflowing the gas tank on your lawnmower, which is a bunch of bullshit. So yeah, let's get rid of that because I don't think that's doing anybody any favor. So I'm sure that's going to make somebody happy.
Those things, I mean, what a nightmare. What a
joke.
What an unnecessary thing to waste time and money on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going through some more headlines here. If you got any comments, sound them off while I'm looking here.
People talking about Comey. You think he's going to get a slap on the wrist?
Well,
Man,
you know, I tell you what, we were talking before about Antifa and being funded through nonprofits by us as taxpayers, and this comes from the Independent Sentinel. I need to slow down. Too much caffeine tonight. Jonathan Cho, an investigative reporter for TPUSA and a senior journalist fellow for Discovery Institute, explained to President Trump today during a round table on Antifa that Antifa is heavily embedded in the homeless and housing nonprofit sector. So what do? We take something that everyone would agree is a great thing to fund, which is the homeless and nonprofit sector to keep people off the street. And the next thing you know, that money isn't monitored after it gets to those nonprofits, and they spend it any way they damn well please. And it seems to be making its way into Antifa. So hot off the press, what I wanted to bring to your attention today, and this is the reporter talking to President Trump, is a report from a Capital Research Center here in D.C. in conjunction with Discovery Institute. They just put out this study right now, and what it shows is that Antifa is heavily embedded in the homeless and housing nonprofit sector, and in many cases, the homeless industrial complex is running cover for Antifa.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, that's USAID at the small local level.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Antifa is benefiting from American tax dollars, and they're essentially being used as the muscle. So, you know, they've still got a pool of money left from the last round of funding prior to USAID being dismantled. That money is running out quickly. George Soros is not going to get off his own damn money. He's been using our money for decades, claiming that he is the one funding. But no, these guys stand up NGOs. They know how to do it. They're experts at it. They apply for the money. They know they're going to get it. And then they funnel it into these nonprofits and other places that have these names that you and I would never want to argue against, like I said, funding for. And then that money gets spent and used against us. And so it's our own tax dollars that are causing these problems. And it's complete bullshit.
Yeah. Well, and they only have to go through, you know, 1 or 2 levels of NGOs before it's untraceable.
Correct.
And so, I mean, it's just bullshit. Here's a good comment. We'll get back to it here. Talking about Dearborn, Michigan. They're talking about trying to push Sharia law now. I mean, I think at the federal level, you're going to have to make some kind of move to ban Sharia law nationwide. I mean, it is 100%. Antithetical to everything we stand for as Americans. So, I mean, I feel like at a national level, you're going to have to ban it.
They're trying to put it in under the guise of freedom of religion.
Right.
And faith. And I grew up in Islam, so I do know that Sharia law is the top agenda for all Muslim communities. I don't care unless there's some kind of non-Muslim wannabe Muslim. If you're a true Muslim, you want Sharia law.
Right.
Bottom line. And no matter where you go, they always encourage us to have plenty of babies and take high positions in government and things like that. And I'm just simplifying it, but it's a fact. There's no argument.
Yeah. And it's, you know, the whole goal, and I mean, you could speak to this better than I can, but the whole goal is to take over every institution possible in every country possible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's in their own book. So we as Americans, if we can't see that and then try to take steps to prevent that from happening, which obviously I think we should, you know, Texas governor made Sharia law illegal in the state of Texas. So, I mean, I think that's the first step to the rest of the country doing the same thing.
Right.
It would be a good idea because third world and first world attitudes don't go together, just like gas and a match does not go together, and it collides. And if you have spent any time looking at news from overseas, look at what's going on in France and look at what's going on in England. Those countries have been invaded by cultures that do not go well with first world cultures. And then, of course, the citizens of those countries are the ones being persecuted and prosecuted with going, wait a minute, I don't agree with this, or they're fighting back. And then they're the ones who are being jailed and penalized for it. So it's, you know, coming soon to a country near you.
Exactly. Right. And we can use England and France as a litmus test for what is coming here. And I don't see how we don't make preventative measures and put them in place now to prevent this from happening, because it's very clear what they're going to do. And if we're just going to have our heads in the sand the whole time and not make preventative measures to stop it, I just think it's stupid.
I would agree. Let's see. Comey is going to file a motion to dismiss case for vindictive prosecution, challenges U.S. Attorney Lindsey Halligan's appointment. So these guys, there goes Brian. He'll be back. He'll be back. They're going to throw everything they can against the wall to see if it sticks. But I think Comey's goose is cooked. Maybe he'll turn state's evidence and opt for some sort of plea agreement to keep his ass out of prison and turn some of these other folks in. Let's see.
I feel like if they do put something on Comey and actually do put him behind bars, I feel like that will be a great precedent and a lot of momentum to be able to start doing that for the rest of these cronies, like everybody's been wanting.
I agree. And you look at what's going on. Let's use Portland and Chicago as an example. You still got a lot of violence and unrest going on in those areas. And I don't recall, and you and I scan the news pretty regular and pretty thoroughly, I don't recall any of these Antifa protesters being put in jail for any length of time at all.
Right. They
might be arrested, but they're always released. So now that we've got a serious plan in place to pick these folks up when they're breaking the law, I think when some of these guys start getting 5 and 10-year prison sentences for assault on federal officers, that's going to quiet what's going on, because some of these guys are going to go, shit, I'm going to go to prison. I don't want to go to prison. This sucks. I was told I was going to get away with this crap. And then when they find out they can't,
well, and to your point about the Antifa, and to your point about the Antifa guys, like, I mean, they go into these protests or civil unrest knowing that if they do get arrested, that's part of the plan, that their bail is already going to be paid for. So they know, like, I'll go to jail, but I'll have money to get out immediately. So they don't care. So as soon as we start saying, hey, no cash bail, you're sitting here for a year for civil unrest, they'll start second guessing that $5,000 that Soros is paying them.
Well, and when Soros doesn't get the $5,000 from the taxpayer anymore, then there's going to be no money to bail out. I promise you, these leftists who claim open society foundation for the good of everybody, well, it's easy to fund somebody else's operation when you're using somebody else's money, and you can say everything that you want to say, but he doesn't have endless billions on top of billions on top of billions on top of billions, and he's just such a good guy that he's out there to try to, and I love how they say it, spread democracy, fight tyranny.
Well, perfect example of what will happen when they can't use other people's money is the Chaz/Chop thing that happened back during when was that, BLM era? Yeah. I mean, that turned into a freaking disaster because they didn't have people's money to spend. They ran out of food. There was rapes and all kinds of stuff going on. It was it was a complete disaster. I mean, that's your socialist utopia right there in the flesh.
Yeah. Well, socialist is all good until you run out of somebody else's money, and when that money runs out, then that's going to run out as well. All right, here's another headline. We aren't playing. DHS response to Senator Chris Murphy attacking federal agents over photo showing Border Patrol officer pointing weapon at Illinois driver attempting to ram the vehicle. And he was pointing a paintball gun, with pepper balls. Non-lethal, yes, thank you. Well, shit, okay, so what?
Well, and that's the other thing. They don't paint the whole picture of what was that person doing to antagonize that officer beforehand. You could argue that he shouldn't have been pointing it at him, whatever. But at the same time, we only get that little snippet of the officer pointing the weapon at him. You know, it's just like it's typical liberal media.
Oh, I'm just reading a comment here from somewhere else. But anyway, Boston police officers hospitalized with broken bones after being attacked by Hamas supporters during Students for Justice in Palestine march to celebrate October 7th attacks on Israel. So here we go. We got college students that are bold enough to attack law enforcement and cause them great bodily harm. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen to those kids. So we'll keep a close eye on the headlines and see what develops out of that. I did have somebody respond with a message when we were talking about freedom of religion and law. The U.S. legal system is founded on the Constitution, which guarantees equal protection under the law. Allowing Sharia law or any religious legal code to influence our courts would undermine that foundation by creating separate systems of justice based on religion. America's strength comes from one set of secular laws that apply to everyone equally. And that is 100% correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It gets into that gray area of, the separation of church and state and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I think you got to take a stand at some point.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that comes from Deshaun, and he lives down in East St. Louis.
Nice.
All right. What other comments do we got?
Let's see. I should be reading these. Or let's see, typical bickering back and forth between my fellow.
What do your trolls have to say
Trolls.
about how messed up you are?
No, the typical. Let's see.
Well, Marxist billionaire Neville Roy Singham is funding protests across the nation. I know the Department of Justice has taken a hard look at him. He is a billionaire that is funded a lot by the Chinese Communist Party, and he doesn't even live in the States, but he has been linked to funding that is making a lot of this crap go on. So we need to get rid of this guy's funding as well.
Yeah, here's a good point. We need to get rid of the activist judges. That's from Blue Collar Love. I agree. I think that's
agreed.
That's part of draining the swamp. Because at the end of the day, these guys are going to make the key decisions that sway public opinion or public policy, that kind of thing. So, and it's becoming ever more apparent now when they're starting to go after Trump on some just ticky-tack stuff or stuff that they're just trying to tie up legislation or tie up litigation to slow down the Trump train, if you will. Right. So yeah, that stuff's got to just be canned at this point. I'm tired of it.
Well, and I had a friend of mine ask me today, he goes, I don't understand why these judges and these liberals do these things. And I said, well, it's very easy. Honestly, I said, a liberal always says we have to throw more money at the problem. We have to raise taxes because we need to give more money to the schools. Let's just use schools as an example, something almost anyone can relate to. We have more money going to schools than we ever have in the history of this country, and we're producing the dumbest kids we've ever produced. So throwing money at education is not the solution to the problem. Eliminating all of the things that take away and distract from teaching what needs to be taught is what needs to happen. Yeah. Schools should be there to teach you 2 + 2 is 4, teach you history, teach you science, sports, theater, band, chorus, choir, how to be a good citizen.
Just how to be a functioning adult.
How to be a functioning adult. Home economics, how to balance a checkbook. But instead, when the Department of Education started handing out federal dollars to school districts, and those dollars came with strings attached to them and things you must do, then the left-wing ideology was able to work its way into the education system. And here we are today, making fatter, dumber kids than we've ever had. There's no emphasis. It's the truth. Yeah. They're coming out not being able to read, not understanding basic math. I don't need to go any further into this. Everybody understands, but we've injected so much ideology into the school system where it needs to be about common sense.
Exactly.
And facts. 2 + 2 is 4, 3 + 3 is 6, on and on and on. So that's
right.
where
I'm even a victim of it. I graduated high school 2005, and I remember coming out of high school, going into college, learning about, insurance and how to balance my checkbook and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't have any idea how to do any of this. I mean, I've got the basic idea, but when it comes down to real life skills, I had zero.
Right.
And it's in college, it's even worse now. You're not really getting taught anything. It's just an indoctrination pipeline.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yep.
So to round out what I was saying there, you take and create a problem, and then you wrap it in some sort of message that it is hard to argue against, such as, the school systems are failing, we need to throw more money at it, when they intentionally create the chaos. Right. More chaos equals we need more money, and it's for education. More chaos, but it's for education. We need more money. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So if you bring common sense to a situation and there's no demand for more money because the chaos has been eliminated, what does that do? That takes away their power. When you take away the money, it takes away the power. And when you stop giving them a huge bullhorn, it takes away their ability to send out their messaging.
Yep.
And if you can't hear them, it don't count.
Yep.
So you use education as an example. If you use crime in the inner city, we need more money so we can have midnight basketball. Remember under the Clinton administration, there was midnight basketball. We're going to fund all of these midnight basketball leagues to give the kids something to do instead of being out on the streets. That doesn't sound like a bad idea if you ask me, does it?
No.
What kids want to stay out late. It's the weekend. They're young. They got all this energy. Let's have them play basketball. That's not going to solve the fucking problem. We got to solve the problem at home. We got to have strong employment. We got to have strong families, an emphasis on being married, an emphasis on a mother and father in the house, right? Traditional nuclear family values. But we can't have that, because if you say that, it makes you a bad person.
No. And Brian, you touched on that a lot. I mean, you're pushed for the strong family values. I mean, I feel like that's the key. We got
the whole system needs to be overhauled. I mean, as far as like the education, it's bottom up. I hate to sound like Biden, but it's all of it, top down, bottom up, whatever. Bottom up. But it really does. Like the things that we're teaching in our schools, they're I mean, most people will never use algebra. Most people will never, right? But they could learn a vocational. You know, I'm not saying don't teach kids math, but I'm talking about teaching them practical life skills, what as far as home ec, how to cook, how to balance a checkbook. They used to do that. Yeah. And then, you know, putting them in, you know, wood shop, putting them in some kind of thing. But then also outside of that, if the foundation of the family is broken, even if the kids have a great school, the foundation is faulty. So when the kids come in, single parents, all of those things you said, Aaron, best, the nuclear family, when there's no proper foundation for the student, you still get that that messed up child, and then they come up with excuses like no child left behind, you know, and then we start relaxing the requirements to get through from one grade to the next, dumber, fatter, like you're talking about, and then that's why our military kind of looks like what it looks like right now. You know, did you see the picture of the guys getting out in Chicago?
My God, the Texas National Guard.
What in the too much barbecue, homie? Too much barbecue.
Brisket. I was part, thankfully, of the Texas State Guard, which was not the National Guard of the state of Texas, but good God, those dudes coming out of that freaking aircraft. Well, I was just like, you guys got to. I think that.
Maybe it's AI. I don't know.
No, it's not AI.
Whoever the photographer was waiting for that prime opportunity and just saw it pop up and was like, all right, I would have done the same thing.
So one of my close buddies, he was an artilleryman, and he did basic training in Fort Sill in Oklahoma, and this would have been the late 90s, and his son followed in his footsteps. And they went through basic training, and he's going through AIT right now. And I'm like, tell me what's different.
Oh my God.
They have to give these kids supplemental protein meals before bed, because what they figured out is that kids have been so lazy and they don't do enough moving that their bone density now is less than what it used to be. So they're more prone to injuries, what I'm trying to say. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I'm like, we were lucky if we would drink canteens of water before bed to keep our stomachs full, because we were fucking starving. Guys would eat apple cores. The whole apple, except for the stem and the seeds in the field. And now these guys, and these guys are getting supplemental protein bars and protein shakes before bed just to keep them healthy so they're not injured.
Dude, I remember in 97 is when I went to basic training in Fort Knox, and it was amazing. They were just starting to introduce the stress card at that time, but they still had the old. Maybe they was around a little bit longer, but to me it was new. They were acting like it was new, and all these drill sergeants, day one they swarm you, Bob. They're in your face. They're like, all right, guys. If you're having a hard time and you just want to, maybe this isn't for you, motivational speech. Let's get you home. And then those idiots that volunteer to go step over to the other side, and they just destroyed them, bro. And you couldn't do that to the majority of the population. I mean, look at it. If there's a meme that's offensive, if there's anything that's like off, somebody said something a certain way, they didn't get your pronoun right. I mean, good God.
Well, and for us back in the day, it was like, if you were that kid that was going to go knock on the drill sergeant's door, we would take care of you before you got to the drill sergeant's door.
Oh, you got your ass whooped. We're going to do what? Grab his ass.
Well, exactly. Yeah. You're going to have a little fucking nighttime meeting before you make it to the drill sergeant's office and fuck the rest of us.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny is it's funny. I laugh my ass off at the shit that we were terrified about when we were in basic training, but it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And it wasn't even that hard.
No, and when you get to it did. And when you get to the end of basic training, you're in such good shape mentally and physically there's not too much they could do to you that
No.
you're like, ah, fuck it, here it comes. Let's just get it over with, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and well, we had one kid, his last name was Sinatra.
Oh God.
And when the drill instructor said, hit it, dun, 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 and he would have to sing New York, New York. I mean, that was his job. And then we had one fuck up, then they'd make him hang. And when I mean hang, he'd have to go find something that he would have to go reach up and hang. And he would have to hang there. And, his whole body is shaking as he's wearing it because that was his punishment for fucking up.
I mean, you do push-ups and then you'd have to jump up and say, give me another. And I want to kill somebody. And,
monkey fuckers, all those fun.
And they're laughing at you the whole time. And you're terrified in the beginning. But at the end, you're like, bring it on, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And now,
let's see what you got.
And now you've got individuals. I think that when you give them the option, it's kind of like this. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to name our podcast. And so we're going to put it out there. Everybody pick a name. And then you get like 1,000 names back. And you're like, oh, God. And they're arguing over it and everything. But if we came to them and said, here's 2 names, pick one, vote on it. And then we pick the one that we've given people too many options to be pussies. Bottom line.
Great analogy. That is
too many options to be a fucking pussy, bro.
Don't give them the option. Just
fucking
say, look,
rise up, motherfucker. Excuse my language.
And today's definition of leadership is consensus, and consensus doesn't work.
No.
There needs to be a decision made, and not everyone is going to agree. And if you're going to let everybody bitch, bicker, and fight, then we're going to get mediocrity. There has to be a decision. It's probably going to be a hard one. Some are going to be okay. Most aren't, but we've got to get to the destination, period, plain and simple.
And at some point, you gotta face adversity. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You can't be avoiding it your entire life, or you're just going to be a giant pussy that nobody wants to be around.
Yeah,
and that's the reality that we face right now with a lot of these kids coming out of high school, coming out of college. Yeah. It's like, dude, you are soft. I can't even have a normal conversation with you without worrying about you getting offended.
And they would be like, if I don't love you, man, if we didn't love you, man, we wouldn't fuck with you. Like that was the term of endearment.
If we were to talk shit to you a little bit, then I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah, if we were to talk to each other the way we do offline, online, people would think we're out of our mind. But that's how it's done. So I got a friend here, my lifelong best friend.
Dog barking in the background.
He says, and he was talking about he's a Marine. He's like, Rogers, you want to stand on a post like you're some bitch on a street corner, and you want to get in my classroom. I mean, they would go off on you and they would drill you, and this shit's funny.
Man, we had a guy. I got to tell one funny. One funny story. We had a guy that had gas all the time. All right.
Bottom bunk.
So you're in formation. This dude, he just couldn't hold it. I'm like, dude, just stop. Stop making it audible at least. So drill instructor makes him, anytime if he smelled a fart, he made him run over to whatever soldier it was, suck the fart up in his mouth, run off formation, and then blow it out.
That's nasty. That's great.
Get that fart out of my formation. That was his job. But guess what? Made him a man.
Wow.
And it's a funny ass story.
Agreed.
Good Lord.
All right. Well, we've kind of gotten off the rails here a little bit, but
politics.
I think it's
it's part of it. But what I was going to say is, everybody, the phone line is open at 217-249-3157. If you've ever wanted to call into a talk show, now's your chance. You'll get right through. I promise.
We need Leonidas.
Yes.
Well,
we need some Leonidas.
Let me see if I can find the Trump guy. So you guys fill in for me here for a minute.
Oh man, what was that guy's name?
Gerard Butler. No.
The Leonidas guy. Yeah,
Gerard Butler. Dude.
Yeah.
He played a Machine Gun Preacher, bro. Dude,
that
was a killer.
So good.
Yeah.
In every role that he's been in, I feel like he's met and exceeded the expectation of that role.
I thought he was a great actor. I don't know why he got kind of pushed out of the limelight after that.
Well, you know what goes on behind the scenes in Hollywood. Did he say something that didn't,
he
toe the line of the liberal left?
It's not. God, I want to talk about things so bad because there's been so much going on.
Let's do it. Fuck it.
I can't. Because I want to survive another year. So. And I want to keep my $7,000 a post, and so I.
Okay, funny story on that. Try not to get into it too much, but on those posts, my comment has been plus 7,000.
Yeah, I seen that the other night.
I just do it over and over and over. Plus 7,000. plus 7,000.
1,000, bro. Where's my money?
Yeah, I'll say whatever you want.
Like, come on, you know, like
7,000. But
praise the Lord.
And we don't have to get into it too much and make our point known. But if 7,000 is going out to these influencers per post,
right?
What do you think is going to these goddamn politicians?
Good Lord, bro.
They're paying $7,000 to a influencer they can't vet. They can't guarantee that they're going to say what they want them to say. How much are they paying these politicians?
Right. And I don't know, like, what's truth anymore. Like, I'm kind of in a Pontius Pilate situation. Like, it's like, okay, on one hand, you've got people saying this, then you got over here, then you've got your upbringing and all of that internal doctrine conflicting with everything that you're hearing. And it's easy to get into an echo chamber algorithm.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're like, Israel.
Right.
And you're like, you know, like they're going to freaking take me out just because of my timeline, you know, like, because I just looked at something and watched the whole stinking video. And then they assume that I'm, you know, racist and stuff. So I start getting Hitler crap. And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And so it's just
the algorithm changes fast and it adapts fast. And it's,
I'm like,
you know, you can get into this whole AI discussion, but somebody made a very good point, and God dang it, I want to say it was Dave Smith. I think it was Dave Smith talking about it, and he said that you're going to have two completely different realities because of these algorithms.
Yeah, you've
got Charlie Kirk is one guy to us, and he's a completely different guy to the other people because you don't. The algorithm will not let you see the reality. It'll let you see what you want to see. Yeah. That's scary.
I watched a Nick Fuentes video one time just because he said something about the Charlie Kirk and people were reposting it. And then I became inundated with like some of the most raw, raunchy, anti-Jewish. And I'm like, dude, I am not this guy. I mean, like if somebody looked at my algorithm, it's like, so I'm engaging with like little fun videos and marriage videos and just trying to like, oh, that's hilarious.
Puppy videos.
Puppy videos. It's like, but no,
but it's scary though. It's like,
what do you believe?
The algorithm is designed to give you what you like, but it's almost it's being like, you do like this, don't you?
You've got
like this. Keep watching this. Keep watching this, you know?
And then you keep watching it a little bit.
Right.
But then the Candace Owens, okay? So like, and I'm not gonna go too deep into her, but
no, you know what, we need to get into it because that's a huge thing going on right now.
Candace Owens, you know, I don't know what to think, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, the text is, she drops the text and then Andrew Colbert verifies and validates the text. So, you know, you can't call her a liar on that. And so everything is so blurred and I just do not know what to believe. I see the point when I see all of the executives, all the producers, all the higher ups, all the media owned and dominated by Jewish people. That's not DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It looks like Israel. Right. And it's like, okay, well, what's going on here? Where's the white folk? Where's the Asian folk? Where's the, you know, where's the black folk?
Exactly. And then they label it anti-Semitic, but it's like, this is what reminds me of what happened in COVID. So,
nepotism.
Do you remember in COVID when, like, if you even questioned what was going on, you were outcast? Yeah. If you even said, okay, well, why can't we look at ivermectin? You know, let's just look at it. I'm not saying it does or it doesn't work. Let's just continue to look at it. Same kind of thing's happening now. You know, it's like you can't question that thing or you're outcast or, you know, it's like, to me, it's like there's such a manipulation of the narrative going on right now. And it's like, all right, you may have your opinions, whatever they are, that's fine. But I can't even question that. I can't even bring up, you know, I'm just noticing, you know, different things that are happenings and different things that are coincidences in different instances. Like I can't even question that. That's not right to me.
Well, and to add to that statement, let's just use COVID as an example. Close friend of mine was a police officer. He's retired, but during that time he was still an active police officer. His wife's a nurse. And COVID's going on. Everything's in full force. And he would come over to my house, and it would be no big deal to, how am I going to put this? She would call him while we were hanging out at my house during the full-blown COVID and go, hey, do you mind running by Dunkin' Donuts and getting me coffee? And we'd go to the hospital and drop it off. She'd come out. We'd hang out outside. And how many people are on the COVID floor? 2.
Yeah.
At the height of COVID. And we don't know if they have COVID. They're sick. So it could be any respiratory illness. Could be the flu. could be pneumonia, but they're on the COVID floor. So there was no overwhelming flood of people into the hospital because they were sick with COVID. And as a matter of fact, the analogy that I would always use for people is who are the most vulnerable population in our country, susceptible to illness? The homeless.
The homeless, yeah.
Well, they should have been stacked like cordwood everywhere.
Man, I'm gonna have to, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor.
You're on the record, sir.
Right. Yes. So,
the objection, Your Honor, narrative that goes against what we want people to believe. He's undermining our gaslight. Overruled.
So here, I used to be a big time junkie. Okay. So I was in the streets all the time. My immune system, I think I can thank my junkie days for my strong immune system. Cause I mean, I was getting high in dumpsters. I mean, I was a wretch, right? I was doing all kinds of stuff, dirty, nasty, and I hardly ever got sick. Ever got sick in the streets. So I feel like my immune system was stronger because of the herd immunity and being around germs in the homeless shelters and all of those people. So actually they were a test case for herd immunity. That's just my perspective.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point because you're susceptible to all those different
and then I worked in a homeless shelter when I got sober at Wheeler Mission in Indianapolis, and dude, they were germs everywhere, and immune system of steel. But I think they did use hospitals. We look at New York, for example, to Aaron's credit. They would use these hospitals as staging grounds. And I don't know what they were doing behind the scenes. I don't know like what the hocus pocus was, but they were there was some death toll going on amongst the older population, and I just, then again, here's Trump at the Operation Warp Speed. And then you got COVID, and then it's a plandemic, and then or scamdemic. And it's like, what do you believe?
Yeah.
What's going on? I believed my eyeballs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got indisputable proof that the hospital is not being overrun, and then you see all the alternative news media out there with their cameras going, well, they've got this outside shelter set up by the hospital to help overflow and triage, and there's nobody in it.
Right, 100%.
What blew the lid off for me is when they ran that. Exactly, when they ran that that news feed that had the video of the hospital room where it was like all these people are rushing around and it's like pure chaos. Well, that was a manufactured video from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, in another country, I think.
In another country, and that blew the lid off of it. I'm like, all right, something else is going on here.
How about all the coordinated dances by the nurses doing the Macarena?
Jesus Christ!
Oh, and then not only that, as we're thinking about this, all the equipment, all the beds, all the things it was like a big money shuffle. Yeah, a big money laundering.
Once you found out that the hospitals were getting what, $30,000 per COVID death or whatever it was, it's like
per respirator,
you can't tell me as a business, because at the end of the day, a hospital is a business. You can't tell me at the end of the day that hospital is not going to take advantage of that business opportunity. It's just going to happen. That's the way it is. It may not be every hospital, but it's going to happen for sure.
I think we were all hoodwinked. Honestly, I don't think, because look at Trump. He thought he was doing the right thing. Operation Warp Speed. Then again, who knows, bro? Like, and when it go dialing back, circling the wagons, getting back to Candace, getting back to all of this stuff, it's like, is Israel the bad guy? Have we been misled? Is there this COVID? Is there this? Obviously, we know that there's fake news,
right?
But now we got AI, and how long has the government had that, or how long has other governments had it? What are we like? What is reality? What is truth? And
okay, to add to what you're saying, the government has known forever how to gaslight its people, and their main mechanism is the mainstream media. So there's their AI, right? Here's you do what we tell you. Here's the prompt, right? The script, and repeat it over and over and over, and repeat it across all platforms. So there was their AI from the get-go. They mean psychological manipulation, psychological warfare. Those means and methods have been known for a long, long, long time. And now, to your point, Brian, when you throw AI in there and now they can make video, they could recreate all three of us to the point now where it's almost so real it's undetectable.
Right. And then they've got it reminds me of that movie Canadian bacon. Is it Canadian bacon with John Candy, and they staged a war with and then it was the tail that wags the dog.
No, Wag the Dog.
Wag the Dog.
It's where they hire the Hollywood producer to make the fake war to take the scandal off the president, and they blow up an aspirin facility. That was just a parody of Clinton.
Jesus Christ.
Correct. It's exactly what that was.
Is that kind of like
exactly. And it comes down to this, circling back to what you were saying, Brian, about the whole Candace Israel thing. It's like my radar or my red flags start raising when you see people silencing people that question it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when my radar starts going, all right, if they're trying to shut people up for even questioning it, there's something to that. COVID was a perfect example of that.
And then all that does is encourage everyone to look deeper.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And then, what the big smoking gun for me was after all of those fingers started getting pointed at Israel for Bibi to get on TV and make a statement. And it was a terribly worded, just like an OJ Simpson. I didn't do it. The glove doesn't fit. I didn't do it. It was.
And if I did do it.
Exactly. I'm like, dude, just write a book and say, if I did do it, this is how I do it. But that type of thing, it's like everything that side did after the fact was, it was unnecessary. He didn't need to make a statement. It's not like it would have swayed anybody's opinion one way or the other. It just made you look more guilty. So that to me, that's when all those red flags and alarm bells start going off.
You got the religious.
I mean, if I could give anybody a good piece of advice, words left unspoken can never be misquoted.
Amen.
That's right.
And you're better off not saying anything. And then, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything. Well, the fact that you didn't comment means the fact I didn't comment means I didn't comment. You can read into that any way you want. But if you make shut the fuck up.
Don't say a word.
Don't say a word. Lawyer, just one word, lawyer. So I agree. You look. It definitely.
I'm not condemning everybody. One way or the other, but just alarm bells are going off. Should put it that way.
Mine too.
Right.
Something's going on, and when you've got the religious community, the evangelicals, they're now starting to go to war with each other about what is Israel, who are God's people, and it's like, bro, this is infiltrating both the left and the right, and this could be by design. Who knows? This could be another part of the freaking Grand Poobah, but like it's man, what the heck? That's all I can say.
The next 6 months are going to be wild. I know that for sure.
Well, we're going to go through a lot more pain before it gets any better. And I've told people that, and economically, that's going to be the case as well. So, guys, there's a recession coming no matter what way you slice it. So be prepared. Get your financial house in order. Sharpen your pencil. Save as much as you can. Donald Trump and this administration are doing the right things in order to put the economy back on the right track. But, politicians would have you think the economy is the volume knob on a stereo. Well, all you got to do is turn it up and turn it down. It doesn't work that way. The economy is the equivalent to a piano rolling downhill. When you let go of the piano, it takes off very slowly, and it's going to pick up speed about halfway down. And when it gets to the bottom of the hill, it becomes an unstoppable force because it's going so fast and it weighs so much. And the economy is the same way. We've got to get things in order. So be careful of the gaslighting when it comes to the economy, when it comes to who did what to who and who belongs to what party and what religion is this, that, and the other. Use common sense.
Right.
But more than anything, we've just got to focus on making sure we don't latch onto one thing too hard. We ignore 100%. Something else to the point where they get something else over on us. Yeah. Eventually, we'll have the luxury to sit back and analyze these things even further. I know everybody else wants, I know a lot of people, I should say, where's the Epstein files? I want to see them too, but that's going to have to get tabled for right now. We've got bigger fish to fry. The president said we're going to give long-range cruise missiles to Ukraine. He said that today. That's a problem. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
Man, we're just
so that's a big deal. Go ahead, Brian.
No, we're a piano on fire heading down a hill. According to
we're a piano in a dumpster.
Yeah,
a dumpster fire. Yeah, but it's the big thing behind the scenes is this digital blockchain currency that they're trying to push everybody to, because the debt-backed dollar, this debt-ridden society, it's not going to work.
No,
they can only punt so long, man. We've been punting for decades.
Now
The
you
fiat currency's dead.
can inflate the currency to the point and revalue gold and some other modern money theory things that they've talked about that are, I sort of understand when I hear it, but are way over my head in terms of explaining it in a meaningful way. But I agree with you guys. Our debt-backed currency is a joke. It is called fiat currency for a reason because it's not backed by dick. I don't think there's the golden Fort Knox that they claim that is there. And why we're going to audit Fort Knox. Good luck. We didn't.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, because if they did, the economy would collapse and we'd be in a worldwide global depression.
100%.
So there's a lot of moving parts to this. It's like 6 running chainsaws. And if you mess up once, you're going to lose an arm. And,
And they're all going in different directions.
Oh yeah. So there's just there's a lot to it.
Retards trying to catch them.
Yes, it's juggling chainsaws. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it's one thing with the government, and I think that we're all comfortable with understanding now that it's all misdirection, it's all gaslighting, it's all manipulation of the narrative. So, the people that are able to think critically and get 6 or 7 layers deep, like you're seeing a lot of people do now, those are the people that are going to come out and be able to change the tide, if you will.
Yeah. And those folks I talked about a lot, I call that the last of the silent majority. They need to get off their ass in 26 and 28 and vote. A big chunk of them did in 24, which was important. Now the remainder need to get up and off their ass, or they're no longer going to be allowed to be the silent majority because they're coming for them next. Yep. And I'm telling you guys, if you're in your front yard and you're watching somebody steal your car and the state tries to tell you, no, somebody needed to borrow it because they were worse off than you and we're not going to charge them. No, you saw somebody steal your car. They didn't borrow.
Like Illinois.
This state sucks. I'm going to put out a video here when we hang up. There's a loophole within the Illinois Department of Corrections that allows these corrections officers to make about $150 million a year in overtime. That's how much was paid in overtime in the Illinois Department of Corrections because they figured out the loophole. What they'll do is they take an 8-hour vacation day and then they go to work. Let's say they work first shift. Then they'll go work a second shift for another guy that wants to be off on vacation. So they put their 8 hours in.
Kiss their overtime.
Now they're getting 8 hours time and a half.
Wow. Jesus.
It's called shift swapping. I just read the article today and made a video. So, every chance that the system can be used, and I'm not mad at those guys. Hell, they found a loophole and they're just working it.
Yeah.
Can't be mad at them for it, but I'm tired of paying for
overseas.
it. Yeah. And, and then, it's a loophole in the system and we, the union, can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can't close the fucking loophole.
Yeah.
Why is the state, the taxpayer responsible for $151 million in overtime? Because somebody was clever enough to figure it out. Great. Now that we've figured out there's an issue, close the loop.
Yeah. Good for you for figuring it out. But guess what? Loopholes close.
But the amount of pushback that will come because it is an Illinois institution and it's a unionized institution, the amount of pushback that will come from that'll be supported by the left will be outrageous. And we as taxpayers will be called names because we're going, wait a minute. You got these guys making 150, 200 grand a year. The highest paid person in the Department of Corrections, apparently, according to the article, $300,000.
Wow.
God damn.
Wow.
You know, you as a citizen, you lose the right to talk shit to me when your state is billions of dollars in debt. I don't care.
Hey, 66.4 cents a gallon motor fuel tax in Illinois.
Jesus
Good
Christ. That's theft.
A $500,000 house in Illinois has about a $12,000 a year property tax bill.
Wow.
Trust me, I know.
You're going to have to bury a loved one on there. And there's some kind of, yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, it's coming to the top of the hour. This was a little bit of a fly by the seat of our pants on fire show tonight, but we wanted to thank everybody who took the time to join us again. We'll be back next Wednesday. Keep in mind, guys, we're going to continue to do this show, and it's going to evolve over time, and it's going to take on a much bigger message, and it's going to be a lot more fun. So for those of you who have been with us from the beginning, thank you very much. Stick with us. It's only going to grow and get even better. And if you have been waiting to call into a talk show but just have been too scared to do it here. You're guaranteed to get through, and no one's going to hear you, at least not right now. And if you don't mind, follow us all on our socials. Mine are all Doge Update Guy on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. Same thing with Brian and Brett. Call out your socials, guys. And we'll give everybody a good night.
Brett Lee, at Real Brett Lee on Instagram, at Doge Official. You can see it under my name here on Instagram. And then my YouTube is, I believe, at Doge News Official. We're trying to get big on YouTube, guys. So if you guys could follow us on YouTube, we would greatly appreciate it. That's the best platform for us to get this out. As of now, we're going to get on Rumble here soon. Thanks to Brian. But yeah, if you could just give us a follow or subscribe, and we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you want to subscribe, I think if you want to subscribe to our channels, I think mine's at 99 cents a month. I mean, it's nothing to subscribe and support us, and we greatly appreciate it. It's the money that we make from doing this, we're pumping back into our shows, obviously, and it's going to allow us to expand, bring on more guests, and bring you more comments and commentary. And yeah, we love doing it, and we look forward to seeing you all in the future.
100%.
Got anything, Brian?
Yeah, Brian Lane right there. I think I hope that shows up right.
Other side.
This is it.
There you go.
You had a 50-50 shot and you blew it.
Blew it, dude. Blew it. All right. Well, see, it's other side. So, okay. I get it. Okay. Over here. But yours is over there.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, everybody.
Hey, comment, leave us messages. We try to read as many as we can. We appreciate you guys.
Have a good night, everybody.
Adios.
See ya. Don't forget to turn off Instagram.
Already done it.